Welcome to my first ever podcast. My name is Anthony Propst, and I'm going to be bringing you a recap of the Week 1 contest between the Baltimore Ravens and the New York Jets. I'll also have some of my own personal thoughts, feelings in there, and some of my own personal analysis. And let's just dive right into it. Starting off, Baltimore won the opening coin toss, and they decided to defer, which, in my personal opinion, I always think that's the right option, especially because with this being the first game of the new season, you never know how the first half's going to go. It could always go left. With that, they switched to their first offensive series. And on that first offensive series, Lamar had to go 3 and out. Not having that contract, really, it looked like it was weighing on him. He definitely, in my personal opinion, I know he wants to be there because he even said, John Harbaugh even said that he's Baltimore through and through. Won't change a beat, won't change in a heartbeat, won't nothing. But it just did not look like he wanted to be there yesterday, honestly. It looked like he definitely had things that, not that he had better to do, but like he just didn't look like the Lamar that we all know and love as Baltimore fans. It looked like he was just not ready to play some football, but that definitely would change later in the game. But just at that first opening drive, he just kind of looked blah, and it looked like he felt it is what it is. I'm just kind of here. I'm just doing my thing. But that's not the Lamar we know. We know he came to play Baltimore football, and play Baltimore football he does. But with that first series, he went for a third down drive and tried to get that third completion to get the first to new rookie, number 80, Isaiah Likely, who definitely could have gotten the pass, in my opinion. He kept moving his feet, even though Lamar told him to sit, plant yourself, and I'll get it to you. He kept moving with the defender, and that caused them to get a turnover on downs. And Lamar and Isaiah haven't built up that clientele yet. They haven't built up that quarterback-receiver relationship yet. And with Isaiah likely working all through preseason with Tyler Huntley, they built up that relationship between quarterback and receiver, but Lamar's not Tyler Huntley, and Lamar definitely has a different throw style, different play style, and even though Lamar did sidearm that first toss and that first pass to him, even though it was a screen pass, and it was a nice screen pass, Lamar definitely did sidearm that a little too much, but that's just what he does. And Isaiah Likely, he definitely could have caught it if, like, Lamar tried to tell him, hey, sit yourself, plant yourself, let me get the ball to you. If you trust me, I trust you, so you just got to trust me as your quarterback. But we'll definitely see that improve later in the game. And they had a turnover on downs because, like I said, they just haven't built up that relationship yet. But when they do build up that relationship, they will also be a force to be reckoned with. Mark Andrews has even said during a preseason interview that Isaiah Likely, during training camps and even during preseason, has shown much resolve and shown much improvement and much growth. So even Mark Andrews, the tight end legend himself, even said that Isaiah Likely is definitely the future and definitely the next step up in great quality for Baltimore playing. So if Mark Andrews said it, I believe it, I trust it. But going on to the next defensive series for Baltimore, they once again had a 3 and out for the Jets, and even our defensive player Williams, he was able to get his hands up on a pass that Joe Flacco was throwing. He was able to get his hands up, and he ended up getting the interception, which was a great play and a great move for him. He was able to get that interception, get his hands up over the offensive lineman, and got that interception to get the ball back for Baltimore. So flipping the script on that, especially in Jets territory with that, Lamar back on offense, goes for the handoff to number 17, Kenyon Drake, who did a little stutter step and couldn't find where to run for a loss of 1 yard. And if you watched that game, if you saw that game, you saw him, he stutter stepped and he kind of looked in two different directions. Didn't look like he was too sure of where he wanted to go. It looked like he had an idea in his head and it thought it would look good on paper, but when it came time to execute, he definitely didn't execute it the best of his ability. Because it looked like he wanted to go up the hole, but he also wanted to see if he can make the jump and make the leap on the outside. But he definitely did not get the chance to make that leap and make that transition on the outside for that loss of 1 yard. But on the next play, Lamar went to make the pass and ended up having it swatted out of his hands. And that's honestly, I have to give credit to the Jets defense for that, because if you know Lamar, if you know how he plays, he's a pocket player. If he can sit and hold himself in the pocket as long as possible, he will do that. And shout out to the Jets defense for collapsing that pocket on him and be able to swat that ball away. Me as a Baltimore fan, obviously you don't want to see your quarterback lose the ball, but luckily we kept the ball, and he had to make it up on the next series because that put it at 4th and goal. So John Harbaugh said, all right, Justin, go do your thing. And Justin Tucker came out and kicked the field goal and put the first 3 points up on the board. And that happening all with only 3 minutes, 16 seconds left in the first quarter. And Justin Tucker, once again, God among men, did what he did and put the leg to the ground, put those numbers up as he always does. And it was just great to see Justin Tucker and the Baltimore Ravens get the first 3 points of the game. And with that, on the final drive for the Jets, in their first quarter, Justin Houston on defense was able to get the first sack of the game. And that's really how you end a quarter right there. You take one of your great defensive players and you sack that quarterback. And that definitely set a tone and definitely sent a message that the Baltimore defense is not playing around this year. Baltimore defense, they're great, believe me, but they definitely were setting the tone and definitely showing that they are not playing around this year, and showed that ex-quarterback Joe Flacco that they are not a team to be trifled with, especially on opening day. And finishing that first quarter, Lamar ended up getting the ball back, and he had 8 rushing yards, which did clutch a first down on his drive. He was able to find that he was able to run like he always does, couldn't find his receivers, so he ran, got the 8 yards, got the first, and got out of bounds like always. Cause everybody says he might be a quarterback, but he's built like a running back, and that definitely shows. Lamar definitely has the leg strength. He definitely has the speed, and it's so nice to see Lamar always get a couple runs in, get a couple first downs here and there. I personally love to see it because Lamar's it's just what he does. Like all those records he broke back in his first and second seasons, like all those records he broke, especially the last time when he broke a major record was against the Jets actually 2 years ago, and it was actually great to see. So just seeing him get those yards, get those numbers, it's always great to see. And that ended the first quarter right there at a 3-0, with Baltimore being the top contender for the end of the first quarter. And they, in total, just what they did. And once they started the second quarter with the ball, Baltimore, especially Lamar, passes it down and results in a fumble due to some light rain happening yesterday. Yeah, it was raining in the Jets Stadium in New Jersey. It is crazy because just every team plays in rain. Everything happens all the time, but it sucks to see that they ended up dropping that ball. Luckily, they were able to recover it. Lamar only had gone 6 for 10 by that first 5-minute mark of the second quarter. He was able to hit Mark Andrews at midfield, though, and by that drive, the Ravens had 59 yards of offense by the time of this drive in the second quarter. And again, they just couldn't hit their mark, and it ended up resulting on a turnover on downs. But after that, back on defense, Houston, once again, able to get the second sack on Joe Flacco. And that's just crazy. The same gentleman, 2 sacks in 2 drives for the Jets offense. Like being able to see the defense, it's always such a satisfying feeling you get when you get that quarterback sack. And he definitely proved how great he was doing with that. And it just ended up resulting on another turnover on downs by the Jets. And Baltimore got the ball back, and Lamar was attempting a pass, and 2 flags were thrown that resulted in defensive pass interference, which was definitely needed because Baltimore they were a decent amount in their territory, and those 2 defensive pass interference flags resulted in a 32-yard gain, which put them in Jets territory, which was definitely something that definitely needed to be seen. Not that they need any help or anything, but like that definitely is definitely a kick that every team needs. And it was just nice to see that. Justice Hill got the handoff and gained 5 yards right after that. But during that, Juwan Jones did get injured and had to be carted off. It has been reported that it had been his torn Achilles, and he does have a history of injuries with his 7 years in the league. There's no report on when or if he'll be back yet. By late through the second quarter, though, after 62-yard drive, Lamar was able to dump it in Devin Duvernay's hands and put the first touchdown up on the board. It's just great to see those two. Devin Duvernay, always a great player, always has the hands, always has the reach. And Lamar, everybody knows, has that arm cannon, can throw for yards. And it was beautiful to see those two get right back in it like nothing was ever missed, just like last season. And it's just so nice to see those two back together. And it was a beautiful throw, very nice pass. And just being able to see that got the Baltimore up on the board. And Justin Tucker came out, did his thing once again, putting up the field goal, making it 10-0 by the end of the first half. Before that, the defense was able to stop the Jets' third down conversion with a forced fumble before the end of halftime, and it was just great to see. Like, it was definitely a shaky half on the first half for Baltimore. The first quarter was kind of meh. Second quarter, they started to pick up steam a little bit. Those two defensive pass interference flags definitely helped. That 32-yard gain off that definitely helped. I was sitting there watching it thinking, all right, boys, we got this. Beautiful pass, beautiful catch. All right, so pick out these points here, because definitely on some play actions, you want to watch the defense, because Lamar did almost hit an interception, almost hit a pick six in the first half, but luckily he was able to, due to that light rain, it was just, it was an okay half, the first half, honestly. And again, it's week one, guys. There's no right or wrong mistake yet. It's still early in the season. Whether you have veterans, rookies, you're still finding your footing. You're still finding how things are, because every team changes every year. Just because Baltimore played a team last year doesn't mean the team they play is going to play the same again this year. So you definitely got to get used to it. And with it being the first game of the new season and Lamar not having any practice with these rookies aside from practice and not having it in game situations yet, it's just nice to see that it was an okay half, but they definitely ramped it up in the second half, and they definitely put their foot on the gas a little bit more, and they definitely stepped up a lot more and definitely started to get their team chemistry and their footing into. And with that being said, let's get into the second half. Starting off, Lamar, he did his thing. He does what he does as a great quarterback. He has the ball. He's sitting in the pocket. And once again, the Jets are not fools. They know, do not let Lamar Jackson stay in the pocket for longer than a certain period of time. Because if you let him stay there, more than likely he's going to hit his man. And they collapsed that pocket on him real quick. And he was able to shake off not one, not two, not three, but four defenders. And he was able to get to that sideline to get the first. He shook off four defenders, two in front, one on his right side, one on his left. He rolled out and couldn't find his man that he was looking for to pass it to. So he just said, I'm going to tuck it, ran, hit the sideline, got that first down, which was amazing to see. And now you have to, but like I said, you got to hand it to the Jets to be able to close the pocket down on him. But he was, like I said, he was able to survey that defense out, get himself out of trouble, and get those yards. At that point, though, he was only 10 for 19 with only 2 minutes and 15 seconds taken off the clock. Despite the linebacker, it was just crazy, with the linebackers of the Jets just coming and doing what they do and collapsing that pocket on Lamar. But unfortunately, it did result on a turnover on downs, which led to the Jets getting the ball back once again. But Patrick Queen, the man with a plan, the man who takes down so many good plays as a defensive player. And he got the third sack for Baltimore on Joe Flacco. And that's honestly no surprise with a man like Patrick Queen and what he's done on defense in seasons past. And honestly, he's an all-star. Getting to either the quarterback or the ball, being a force to be reckoned with. He was able to get the Jets a loss of 5 yards and force their field goal unit on the field, which they did end up missing that first field goal by that point. And the Jets only had 3 field goals throughout the entire game, and this is the first one they had, and they ended up missing it. But he just missed it for that first one. But once they do come back out for the second one, they do put it through the uprights, and at this point it is their second one, so that did make the game 10-3, with Baltimore obviously still having the lead. And after that, Lamar and the Ravens got the ball back once again, was able to hand it off to Drake, who did get that first down with 5 extra yards. And with nobody to get it to, Lamar took it himself on the second one, got 7 yards, and he did get hit by the Jets player, Quincy Williams. And that brought it to 2-3, with Drake getting the handoff and getting the first down once again. Drake is definitely a good player, man. Honestly, with Baltimore picking him up, with him being 7 years in the league now, he is just he's an all-star for everything he does. And it's great to see Lamar having that good chemistry with him. And I just think that it's absolutely amazing that he was able to get those 2 first down conversions. But dude, what happens next was absolutely crazy, because Lamar in the red zone on the pass to the corner, he hits Devin Duvernay once again. The team chemistry still there, still crushing it for the second touchdown. And that ended up putting up those Baltimore numbers once again. And Justin Tucker, same thing there, field goal, everything. And that put it up to 17-3. And that just shows the team chemistry between Jackson to Duvernay and then Justin Tucker. All 3 of them, for the quarterback, to the receiver, to the kicker, for the touchdown, for the field goal. It's just great to see. It's just great to see all that team chemistry just constantly coming back. All that team chemistry just making it happen. Those 2 tell him, "Hey, we'll get you this touchdown so you can get this field goal." It's just great to see, and that it was just great to see Baltimore put up those numbers once again, as they do. And that honestly. And again, with Lamar still not having a signed contract, he still knows how to play the game, still knows who his team is, where things need to go, and how things need to get done. And that did round out the end of the third quarter, with it being 17-3, as the ball does go back to New York with the start of the fourth. And once the fourth did get started, the Ravens were able to get a 3rd sack on Joe Flacco. Honestly, 3 of them at this point. It is quarter 4. It's 3 sacks on Joe Flacco, and it's absolutely crazy that they're able to the defense is just having a day today. They're getting those sacks. They're getting those stops, stopping those 3rd down conversions, because always those 3rd down conversions are critical, especially if they're in your territory. You always want to make sure you are able to get that stop. Make sure you definitely do not let that offense get that first down and take more time off the clock, because then that's less time for you on your next offensive series to put more numbers up. So definitely stopping them early and getting to that quarterback is definitely the way you want to do. But on that same drive for the Jets, Mike Davis did get the handoff, and it ended up fumbling it. And luckily, though, Baltimore was able to recover it, so that definitely helped in our favor. Baltimore didn't have to force the fumble, but it was definitely nice to see, because again, it was raining a little bit yesterday, it was raining a little bit that day, so it was definitely nice to see Baltimore be able to get that fumble recovery and pick it up, so they can get another offensive series and get another shot. But once that drive got started, it drove, because Lamar was able to throw a long, very, very long 50-yard pass to not Duvernay this time, but another Baltimore All-Star, Rashad Bateman. Rashad Bateman, man, honestly, like he crushes it. He kills it with everything he does. He absolutely him, Duvernay, Mark Andrews, all of them. They're all-stars, especially with working with Lamar for a couple of years now. They all know his sweet spots. They all know where to go, how to get him to get that ball to them, how to just do all of it. And an absolute monster, Rashad Bateman. And I just have to say, honestly, it was all around perfect play, beautiful pass protection by the offensive line, amazing pass by Lamar, and an excellent catch by Bateman. Just an overall great play by the Ravens. And again, I've said it before and I'll say it again, Justin Tucker delivers another field goal just absolute all-star. I swear, Justin Tucker, absolute all-star, especially after last season with that 61-yard field goal against Detroit in the Motor City. Just you can't not think of kickers and look at Justin Tucker and not think he is the GOAT. He is the best. He's all around the greatest because of the amount of legs training he does, the amount of strength he has in legs, the numbers, the points he's put up, the games he's won because of just what he does as a Baltimore player. It's just absolutely crazy to see. And honestly, following that halfway through the fourth, the Jets did fumble again with number 44, the star on defense, Marlon Humphrey, a man, another one of the greats, honestly. He did recover that ball, and it was deep in Jets territory, too, when they fumbled that. And unfortunately, given that Lamar did throw an interception on that next offensive series, and that was his first interception of the year, actually, of the season. But honestly, you expect that from quarterbacks. You expect, okay, there's going to be at least one interception somewhere along the line. And honestly, it's better if you make those mistakes week one, get those out of your system, because once you get past week one, once you get into later weeks, week 10, week 11, it's like, all right, we don't need to see interceptions now. It's crunch time. It's game time. So it's definitely better you get those early mistakes. And Lamar's no fool. He's not a rookie. He knows what he's doing. So it's just better that he gets those out of his system now, just to make it simple for himself later down the line. But once that turnover did happen, that wasn't too bad, though, since Washington for Baltimore did get that fourth and final sack on Joe Flacco. And that was within the last 2 minutes of the game. And with that happening, unfortunately, defensive player Kyle Fuller, he did hurt his knee, and as of right now, there is no tell how bad it is or how long he's going to be out. And it's just, you hate to see the good players go down. You hate to see it. You never wish ill on anybody. You never wish ill on or any injuries on any player. You always want to see them get back up. You always want to see them succeed. You always want to see them come back the next week. So it definitely is going to suck with multiple players on defense being down and out. Like I said earlier, with the Achilles, with Fuller now being down and being out for a little bit, we're definitely going to have to step up this next level of defense. And with that being near the end of the game, though, within the last 2 minutes, with the last minute of the game left, the Jets did finally score their first touchdown. But like I said, out of all three field goals, this is that third and final that they did miss for the kicker, which new kicker to the game. He definitely knew. I unfortunately, off the top of my head, can't remember his name. I can't think of it off the top of my head while talking. But he's new. He is new to the Jets and their stadium. There was a slight, not a whole lot to make a difference, but some slight wind. But the pressure's on always. Pressure is always put on kickers, especially in crunch time, especially in clutch. But by that point, it was 24-8. Or 24-9, I should say. 24-9. It would have been 24-10 if they did get that, but it was only 24-9. And with that also being the last minute of the game, there was no coming back from that. But after that, Baltimore got the ball back, ended the game. And like I said, if that's week one. That's week one. That is week one. Things definitely are going to have some improvements. They're definitely going to be made. It's film is going to definitely be a thing. Considering today's Monday while I'm doing this, film today probably was definitely crazy. Coach definitely was John Harbaugh sitting down with Lamar and Isaiah Likely, pointing it out, saying, all right, you need to do this here. All right, let's see if we can get this off. Lamar, you got to look there. You got to look for Likely. You got to look for Rashad Bateman, Devin Duvernay, Mark Andrews, because Mark Andrews, he didn't get as much love as he usually does from Lamar. And granted, everybody knows their team chemistry is absolutely crazy, absolutely insane. So, yes, there was definitely a lot to talk about in film today, especially with that first interception Lamar threw. And again, it is week 1, guys. Definitely don't sleep on Lamar. He definitely will come back, because once week 1 is over, it's a wrap. Lamar's going to get back on his high horse. He's going to get back on his grind, and he's going to be grinding things out. And hopefully we do see him negotiate a deal, negotiate a better contract. But we just all hope to see that he does stay with Baltimore, because he is a Baltimore man through and through, has been for years now. Since 2018, he's been with Baltimore, with his rookie season and him balling out that season. And then his second season went absolutely nuts, absolutely crazy to see. So he's definitely been balling out with the Baltimore Ravens for so long, and it was a great contest between Baltimore and New York. And Joe Flacco even said, after being 11 years with the Ravens, it's crazy that this is his first time ever playing them as a quarterback. It's crazy, his first time ever playing against his former team. So, but we just love to see Joe Flacco, all-around all-star. He was there when Baltimore got their Super Bowl ring with Ray Lewis. It was just crazy to see John Harbaugh coaching for 15 years with Baltimore, I believe it is, somewhere in that time frame. It's just absolutely crazy to see those two, see John Harbaugh playing his old quarterback and Joe Flacco playing his old coach. You absolutely love to see the team dynamic and the team chemistry. But team film today definitely had some pointers. Definitely defense did get the hype, did get the love, did get the highlights they definitely deserve, just because defense balled out with 4 quarterback sacks, the interception, the 2 fumble recoveries. It's just absolutely insane and crazy to see. But with that being said, we will end it here. I've been Anthony Propst. I will bring you another recording next week after the Baltimore Ravens take on their week 2 contender, who I believe is the Miami Dolphins. Or no, that's wrong. I'm actually not sure who the next week is. I should know off the top of my head, but not everybody's perfect. But thank you guys for listening. I appreciate it, and I will bring you back more next week. Bye-bye.